At the start, we meet Renfield, who is attending a self-help group for people who are abused by their lovers. A girl named Kathleen is telling everyone in the group how her ex-boyfriend used her and abused her. Renfield tells us that he is in an abusive relation with his boss Dracula, whom he met many years ago. He was a real estate agent, and Dracula liked him and introduced him to many clients and made him his servant. Renfield's job was to take care of Dracula's food need and help him find victims and protect him. Dracula gets his powers from killing humans, and Renfield was also given powers, which he can use after eating a bug. When some hunters attack Dracula and capture him in a spell circle, they ask Renfield to help them. Renfield chooses to help Dracula and uses his shoe to break the circle and free Dracula. Dracula attacks the hunters and kills them, but is badly injured by sunlight and gets badly burnt. Whenever Dracula gets weak, they move to a new city and Dracula hides until he gains his full strength. They move from there and go to a new city, where Renfield is a restaurant and finds a new house to stay in a newspaper. He is attending self-help group because he is now tired of serving Dracula and wants to leave him, but he does not know how to. The group leader Mark asks Renfield to share his story, but he refuses and tells us he attends this group to find victims for Dracula. He hunts people who have tortured people in his group as Dracula's food and goes to find Caitlin's boyfriend. He finds that the boyfriend has stolen drugs and is hiding in a warehouse and decides to capture him. He fights the boyfriend and manages to capture him easily, but is attacked by a person who is big and scary. Renfield is stabbed in the stomach with a knife, but he eats bugs and gains power and fights back. He punches the person so hard his head is separated from his body and flies towards a Ted Lobo. Ted belongs to Mafia and is the owner of the drugs and had sent his man to get them back. Ted gets scared on seeing the head and sees Renfield come of the building badly injured. He runs away from there and we meet Rebecca, a police officer who is checking for drunken drivers. Ted comes there and Rebecca recognizes him being a famous mafia member and decides to capture him. Ted gets scared because of drugs in his car and starts running, but Rebecca manages to hit him and capture him. Renfield has brought back the dead body to an abandoned hospital where Dracula is now resting. We see Dracula is in bad shape and he is not happy with the body since it is missing a head. He tells Renfield that he needs blood of innocent people to get better fast and asks him to bring tourists or nuns. He says if he eats 10 to 12 people, he will regain full power, but Renfield tells it is getting difficult to find people. He says maybe they should find a place and settle down, which makes Dracula angry, and he hits Renfield. He tells Renfield that his job is to serve and take care of him, and Renfield agrees, so Dracula uses his blood to heal Renfield. At police station, Ted tells everyone about how Renfield killed his man, but no one believes him. His lawyers come and bail him out, and Rebecca is angry as he is allowed to go so easily, even though she found drugs on him. She believes everyone here is corrupt and scared, and her boss tells her she has a job because of her father, who is a good policeman. She meets her sister Kate, who works in FBI, who tells Rebecca to control her anger if she wants to catch Ted and his family. Ted meets his mother Bella, who is actually in charge of the mafia, and she is angry on Ted. She tells Ted that their reputation is going down as people are stealing their drugs, and he needs to work hard. Rebecca investigates the warehouse where the drugs were and finds a pen which belongs to the restaurant where Renfield usually visits. She comes to the restaurant, and we see Renfield is also here trying to find victims for Dracula. Ted and his men have also come to the restaurant to kill Renfield and go inside and tell everyone to obey them. Ted recognizes Rebecca and tells her that they killed her father, and Rebecca tells him to shoot her. She says that Ted is hiding behind his men and isn't brave enough to shoot her, and Renfield notices a bug. He eats the bug and attacks Ted's men, and Rebecca also attacks them, and they fight together. They manage to defeat all men, but Ted manages to escape from there, and Rebecca thanks Renfield. He is happy to see how Rebecca stood up against Ted and was not afraid of him, and they become friends. Rebecca says Renfield was brave and fought like a hero, and he is surprised to hear such praises. Later, Dracula meets Renfield and says he has been thinking how to survive easily in this modern world. He says he is a god and humans are weak, and he wants to rule the world and divide the humans. He says those who will follow him easily will be his followers and others will be food, and says he will rule forever. Renfield is sad to know this, and decides to go to Self-Group to know how he can leave Dracula. He tells them indirectly about his boss, and Mark and others tell him to focus on his needs. While talking with them, Renfield realizes that if he does not feed Dracula, he won't grow to full power, and he can then finally leave him. He rents a new house and starts living a new life and makes friends with his new neighbors. He gives them an ant for their ant farm and does shopping and starts enjoying his life without Dracula. Rebecca is angry at everyone at police station as no one is going to be a witness for the restaurant shooting. Suddenly Renfield comes and says he will be the witness and thanks her for teaching him how to stand up against wrong. Ted uses cameras to find Renfield and comes to know he has been visiting an old hospital. Rebecca asks Kate to find fingerprints on the pen she found and believes this can be evidence against Ted. She believes it can have Ted's DNA on it and asks Kate to help her, and Kate agrees. Ted and his men arrive at Dracula's place to find Renfield, but are attacked by Dracula, who kills all. He catches Ted, who gets scared and tells him he works for Mafia and is only looking for Renfield, who is saving people. Dracula gets angry since Renfield has not visited him since long and transforms into a bat to find him. Renfield comes home to find Dracula already there, who asks him why hasn't he brought him food. Renfield lies to him by saying he is storing many bodies to bring to him but couldn't find a big vehicle. Dracula says he knows he has been saving innocent people and fighting the Mafia like a superhero. Dracula is angry on him and says Renfield used his powers to get rich and even left his family. Now when Dracula needs him, he has decided to leave him and be selfish and play a superhero. Renfield decides to use a book to read some quotes to tell Dracula how he feels about him. This makes Dracula angry, and he sees the book belongs to a church self-help group. He decides to visit them and flies away from there, and Renfield realizes Mark and others are in danger. Rebecca meets Caitlin and comes to know about the church, and Renfield rushes back to Mark. He tells everyone to immediately leave with him, but it's too late since Dracula has already arrived. He introduces himself to all and then flies in air and scares everyone, and Renfield says he is sorry. Dracula throws him away and attacks everyone and kills all one by one and enjoys it. He tells Renfield he is telling him stay alive so he can feel the pain of losing all his friends, and leaves. Rebecca comes there and finds Renfield with the dead bodies and arrests him, thinking he killed them. Outside, Rebecca comes to know she has been betrayed by her partner, and Bella comes with the police. Bella says she wants to know what happened to Ted and wants to take Renfield with her. They offer Rebecca promotion to hand over Renfield, but she chooses to escape from there in her car. Ted is alive and Dracula offers to partner with him to get his revenge on Renfield, and he agrees. At Renfield's house, he tells Rebecca who he is and what work he does for Dracula. Rebecca is angry on him and doesn't believe him and says she is the only cop in town doing honest work, but gets insults in return. She gets a call from Kate, who tells her they found matching fingerprint on the pen. She says it belongs to someone who is at least 80 years old and has done multiple murders. Rebecca now believes Renfield and asks Kate to meet her at a nearby cafe and leaves with Renfield. They see police and Mafia cars have found them, and Renfield starts searching for a bug to get powers. He eats the ant from the ant farm and gains powers and starts fighting with the Mafia and police. He easily starts hitting the enemy, and Bella and others are surprised to see his power. Rebecca also helps him, and Renfield brutally kills all men and they leave from there. Ted comes to Bella and brings a coffin and closes all the windows to make her meet Dracula. Bella is happy to meet Dracula, and he is also pleased to meet her and says he needs to discuss with her. Rebecca and Renfield wait at the cafe for Kate, where he shows her his family picture. He says he regrets leaving his family for Dracula because he was greedy for money and power. Dracula speaks with Renfield telepathically, and Rebecca comes to know Kate has been kidnapped. They both are told to come together, and Renfield says they need to go prepared before the meeting. They get bugs, wooden stakes, and protection spells to capture Dracula, and Renfield eats bugs. They reach the meeting place and go inside and see Ted and all his men have also gotten their power. They attack Renfield, and he starts hitting them, and Rebecca uses her gun to shoot Ted, but nothing happens to him. Renfield kills all men and decides to fight Ted and asks Rebecca to go look for her sister. Rebecca meets Bella and asks about her sister, and also meets Dracula and gets scared. Renfield tells Ted that Dracula will make him his slave, but Ted does not listen and keeps fighting. Dracula tells Rebecca to join him, and using his powers, she can fight criminals and do justice. He tells her he has badly injured Kate, and now only his blood can save her, and asks her to join him. Renfield eats a bug and badly kicks Ted and breaks all the bones in his body and goes to Rebecca. He tells Rebecca not to join him, but she says she can't lose her sister, like she lost her parents. She agrees to join Dracula and hugs him, and he presses a switch to raise the curtains for sunlight. The sunlight comes in and badly injures Dracula, who transforms in bat and runs from there. They escape in a new room, and Rebecca sees Renfield is badly injured, and Dracula catches her. When he is about to bite her, Rebecca shoots him in the leg, and the blood falls on Renfield's mouth. He gets up and attacks Dracula and breaks his teeth, but Dracula is too powerful for him. Renfield remembers his self-help group talks and decides to fight back, and Rebecca notices some drug packets. Renfield starts punching Dracula and badly hurts him, but Dracula gets up and throws him away. He goes towards Renfield to kill him, but gets captured in a protection spell made by Rebecca. She used drugs to make a circle, and Dracula is unable to move, and they decide to attack him. They use all the weapons they find and start hitting Dracula, and they do not how Dracula can be killed. They cut Dracula in small pieces and throw him in gutter, assuming it will take him years to come back. Kate arrests Bella and thanks Rebecca for her help, and we come to know she was given Dracula's blood. Rebecca meets Renfield and says he now needs to be a real hero and save innocent people. Later we see Renfield has used Dracula's blood to revive all his self-help group members and thanks them to giving him confidence.